we knew 100% it was going to be a battle, right? It's winner goes on to the final, loser is end of their season, right? So we knew everybody was going to be laying it on the line. And as far as set pieces go, we conceded a few in the last few games against them, so we knew it was something that we had to focus on. And obviously, unfortunately, again today, we conceded another one, so clearly something we still need to work on. But at the end of the day, we fought, we scrapped, and we got a win.
Is it right if we guys ask this next question to Coach? Really quick here. Given the goal early in the second half to make it 1-1, what did you see from your men to bounce back the way they did and fight in what was a hard-fought battle going into extra time?
Character and resilience. That's what they showed. And that's what they've been showing the whole year. That's why they deserve the victory. All right? And I don't know what to say. For the first time, I'm speechless because of what they've done. They fought, and their character showed. It's a very strong and resilient team.
Gary, you're good? Anybody else in the... Okay, there we go.
Question for Coach. I think it was 8 times you played them this year. This one goes to extra time. Is that an accurate kind of example of how tight these two teams are?
Oh yeah, no. Honest to God, I think this is what the CPL needs. They need games like this. They need teams that rival each other like this. And for the whole year, we've battled against Calgary, and it's always been a great battle. And it had to come down to us against them again, you know. And we came out victorious, but this is what the league need. And game of football is about the margins, and today the margins weren't on our side. So we're happy to go to the final, but also credit to Calgary for their whole organization. It's a top-class organization, the way they work, and every time we play against them, it's a great rivalry. So we enjoy it, they enjoy it.
Just on the deciding goal, what did you see? Is that an example of you just keep playing until you hear a whistle?
Oh yeah, no, for us, that's the mentality. You don't stop. You got to keep playing, right? We have the referees, and we say that we cannot control them. You know, they got to make their decision, and the boys that we put in, you know, they could have an impact on the game, and they had an impact on the game. So everybody stood up for each other, and the fight and the desire that this boy showed was tremendous.
All right, we're going to switch over to Zoom now. All right, we're going to open our questions. Charlie?
Thanks. Hey, congratulations, guys, and congratulations, Pa. Just, you guys have been a team all year where players have stepped up when it's their opportunity, right? Just how impressed have you been with this team's ability to step up when necessary and the depth of the squad to just get the job done when they need to?
I mean, that is a true testament to the players. We have a vision and philosophy, and we told them in the beginning, everybody that comes in will get their chance. And we all know in football, the first 11 that starts the season is never the first 11 that finish off the season. But also everybody going to play a part, and that's what you need. A team will win you championships, right? And that's what we're about. We're about the team, and the resilience and the character of this group is magnificent. And for me as a coach, it's enjoyable to every day wake up and have to work with a group of men like this.
And Pa, just if I may, like, you guys obviously, this is a semi-final, so you have to play another game. You have to play a final now. What parts of this game, of this performance, do you want to focus on or want to make sure that are repeated in a final against either Forge or York?
I mean, for us, we know who we are. We know how we play. And it's about going back into the drawing boards, see the things that was very good in this game, see the things that we need to rectify. Like Callum say, conceding a set-piece goal, you know, and rectify that, and we're just going to continue playing the way we know how to play. Nothing changes for us.
Thanks, Pa.
Welcome.
Thank you, Charlie. Michael, your questions for Coach and also Callum?
Hey guys, congratulations on the win. First question for Callum. Cavalry came out after half time. They had kind of raised it up a notch. They were really going for it. You gave up the one goal, but you were under a lot of pressure. Then losing Samaki and having Lucas already out, what was going through your mind at that point?
I mean, honestly, it goes back to the fact that we knew it was going to be a fight. And that includes injuries, that includes conceding goals, that includes being up against it and being under pressure. And so I think we tried to come into today ready to take everything in our stride, regardless of the situation, focus on what we could control, and do the best that we could. And sometimes today we had to just withhold the pressure, not concede, and try and keep composure, and I thought we did that well. And that just showed the fight that we had.
And just a question to both of you. You've got a chance to host the championship game next weekend, depending on what happens tomorrow. Are you going to get a chance to watch that game as a team? And what would it mean to have that championship game at Starlight Stadium for you?
I'm not sure. We haven't thought that far ahead as far as watching it together, I don't think.
They got days off.
Yeah, I think we got some time off according to Pa, so that's a good thing. And then, wait, what was the other part of the question?
The other part of the question is, how is it if we're going to host it?
I mean, it would be unbelievable, right? We kind of squandered the opportunity to host a semi-final, and it was something that we were all disappointed in. And so now, we have a chance potentially to host the final, but I think regardless, we'd love to play in front of our fans, but the biggest thing is we want to win a championship for our fans. And so whether that's home or away, we're ready to do that.
Coach, you and I talked about bad bounces the other day. This one might be the biggest.
I'm not sure. We've had a few. It seems like every time there's a playoff situation, we're talking about these calls or officiating, and I'd rather focus on the efforts of our guys this year, because until the officiating improves in big moments, I'd rather focus on what we can control, and that's the effort that we put in, and the boys didn't stop, and I'm proud of them for everything they've been through this year.
After saying that, I'm going to ask you about VAR and whether it's something that you'd like to see in this league.
Only just so there's no doubt, I think, because that's the issue now, is there was a contentious decision that I think most of the fans are on that end seen it and the linesman didn't. So and he's the only one that matters, because I think if that's out, the momentum was with us, and the game's about momentum, and unfortunately that changed the flow of the game.
And how's Marco?
I don't know, because I just said to the boys in the locker room, I know they're down, but I appreciated everything they left for us, not just on that game, but through the season. And that's the big thing, because they've been asked to do a lot, and they're there for each other, and that'll hurt. So that's it. But we're always in the conversation, and we'll always be there, and things will go our way eventually.
Coach, I know it's been disappointing, and just listening to Mason, how heartbroken he is. What was the message to them specifically? And can you tell me, are you guys thinking next year already, or are you just consoling at this point in terms of this loss?
Yeah, I think it's a bit numbing, to be honest, Moses, just because, you're in the heat of the battle, and I'm the same as Mason. To me, that was a great street fight. It was playoff football. It was intense. They had goal action. They had moments, tackles. And I think we played to the conditions. It was hard out there. So, sometimes it wasn't pretty, but my goodness, that was a great advert for just Canadian football, that it's tough and gritty. And, and congratulations to Pacific. They've been a great contender this year. And I tip my cap to them and wish them the best in the final.
Mason mentioned that even when they gave up the first goal, there was still a belief. You got the equalizer, the belief even grew. Going to extra time, it was still there, but after that second goal, did you see a deflation a little bit from your group, and how much of a challenge was that to kind of get them ready for that final 15 in extra time?
Yeah, we just said, look, let's just focus on moving forward, because we're not going back. We can't change the calls until VAR comes in. Let's just go forward. We knew that we would get another 2 or 3 chances, and we did. And unfortunately, that's the thing. Ali Moussi gets one and he smashes it in the head of one of their defenders. There's Dan Klomp's had another, Joe Mason's had a chance, and it wasn't for the lack of chances. So it's just one of those games that, unfortunately, a call here or a bounce there, and it's a different conversation. We're off to another final. We're not, and we'll take our time to reflect where we go in the off-season.
Excellent. Thank you. Charlie, question for you, for the coach.
Yeah, thanks. Hey, Tommy. Just when you come out of a game where you have the possession, you have the shots and all that, but obviously at the end of the day, you're not the team that's moving on. Just what is it that you say to the guys, to the team, just at the end of the season, where you've had a very good season, but it hasn't quite gone exactly as you wanted it to?
Well, listen, you got a 1 in 8 chance of winning this league, right? We turned that into a 1 in 4, so our percentages are there. We're in the conversation every single year. And like I said, in these big moments, you need experienced officials to be able to manage that type of environment and those type of calls. Like I said, I'm tired of talking about it because it seems like every year there's a contentious decision that affects how we move forward into the final or have a say in it. You don't say anything to the guys really other than thank them for their efforts, and you give them 24 hours to breathe. And then when we'll look at our exit medicals and meetings, and that's when we can have some good heart-to-hearts, because right now they're not going to listen to what I say. I'm not sure they'll even listen to this afterwards. But all I can say is, listen, I appreciate the people behind the scenes that have got this game ahead. Our grounds crew were here at 7 a.m. making sure that the pitch was sorted. Our fans were here, brave in the cold. And that's what really counts, is everybody give it their best today.
Yeah, thank you. Tommy, how much of a motivating factor is this going into next season?
I don't think we need motivating. Like I said, we've been in enough playoffs and contentious ones that, what we've got to do is, like I said, we're 3 for 3 for some bogus calls or non-calls. We've got to make sure that we just focus on what we can control. That's all we're going to do. We'll be there. We'll be there again next year. There's 2 CONCACAF spots up, and perhaps it's the league table instead of a playoff format where over the course of 28 games you're judged on who the best team is versus a one-off game. And for us, we'll play the long race. I thought the lads have stuck to their game plan very well, and I'm proud of them. It does hurt. Losing hurts, but it's the manner in which you take that loss that's the true making of who you are.
Thanks, Tommy, and I appreciate your time all season.
Thank you. Can we do just the CPL Fever, because they're always good, please? Yeah.
All right, CPL Fever.
Thanks, Tommy. So I wanted to ask you about the game. So obviously it wasn't the result you wanted. It was disappointment for you and the Cavs, a controversial goal. But how are you feeling? Because obviously you're disappointed, but it was a really tight game with chances for both sides. It was really exciting. But how do you feel with the team's performance overall? Because there were some great performances in there, like Ben Fisk, Mohamed Farsi, and Creepy Yao scoring a goal, and also putting in some great tackles, kind of like Kamal Miller.
Yeah, do you know what? Between you and I, Jack, I'm gutted for the lads, because they played well, and they really deserved to win. They did. Sports are cruel because you don't always get what you work for, and sometimes it does come down to those contentious decisions or the way the ball bounces here or there. And right now we're sat on the back end of a loss and having to nurse that, but we'll do so with pride. We'll do. I was proud of the guys. They give a great performance for our fans. Our fans have left here gone. They're with us going, what else do we need to do to win these matches? But we'll go again next year.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough. It's a tough one to take for sure. I haven't seen a definitive replay of that second goal. It seemed like a nothing situation. It seemed like the ball was out, but again, we'll have to look at it, and we could still, have cleared our lines and probably dealt with it, but it felt like it was sort of against the run of play. And again, in these one-off games, randomness plays more of a part than it does over a 28-game season, and we didn't win today, and that feels really, really bad for our team, because we were ready this year for a championship, and I think we felt like it was the year for it. I don't know, still feels like it hasn't sunk in that we're not going to be there.
Not discounting the fact that your captain was out of the lineup today, you guys haven't had a lot of games where you've had your best starting 11. does that maybe take a little bit of time to work together and find that chemistry? It seemed like the first half you guys were a little bit set back by it, but then started to come on later.
Not really, actually. I think our team was about as healthy as a professional soccer team could be for today's game. Minus Ledgerwood, of course, who was a big loss. But it's, you know, that I don't think chemistry is a factor. I think that group there is a very strong team, and I think everybody in the CPL would agree with that. We didn't win a one-off game today, which is really, really disappointing, but rather than chemistry, I'd say other factors, right? A playoff game, big moments, November 20th. There's some unique things happening today that I think I would say are more of a factor than chemistry. I wouldn't put it up to chemistry at all, no.
Mason, Moses here with Global. It seemed at times in this game, you played football and then it became a battle, physically. You know, pushing and shoving, hard tackles, a lot of talk with the ref. Did you find that was like a lot more of a war of attrition than playing the game that you guys wanted to?
Yeah, again, I think it's playoff soccer, so it's always going to be that way. And there's two teams that want to win and want to go to the championship game. I think there was one tackle that was retaliation that was, you know, dealt with in an interesting way, I thought, considering it was literally clear retaliation. But other than that, I think it was just a tough game, and you know, it's hard. Again, like I said, it's November 20th. It's, you know, the conditions weren't 100% suited to, you know, the prettiest soccer that, you know, we might see here in the summertime. But it was still an unbelievable day. It was still an unbelievable experience here. I hope for the fans, even though we lost, because it felt special down there in the field, and for our team to have put this together this late in the year, it's pretty special, I think. So the only thing we missed was a win, and that happens. It's professional sports.
And just on top of that, I know the feeling, you just mentioned it to Todd earlier, it hasn't fully sunk in yet. But is there a moment that you look back now, or at least can pinpoint, where you felt that was the moment where you should have capitalized but didn't, and it ended up being a 2-1 scoreline for Pacific?
I thought the first half wasn't the greatest goal we gave up, and then when Karifa scored in like the first few minutes of the first half, I told Tommy just before this, wasn't a doubt in my mind that we were going to win that game. And I think, and again, I haven't watched it back, and it's a different perspective when you're in it and you're in the moment, but I thought just a matter of time. It felt like it was wave after wave. I felt like we had some big chances, and it wasn't going in. But still, even then, even when we went to overtime, I thought, we're winning this. And I felt like we were ready to win it the whole time, and it felt, and it must have looked like we were ready to win it. And then they scored. They scored a goal that was, you know, 9 times out of 10. I don't think that probably happens, or it gets called for being out, because it was very, very close. At the very least, it was very close. So it was felt like a bit like, whoa, what just happened? That was unusual. And but even then, I thought we were going to come back and score. I think we had some big chances after that to come back and tie it and take it to pens. So again, yeah, I'm not really sure what happened. It feels odd.
Awesome. We're going to go to Zoom here, and Brandon, your first question.
Thanks, sir. Basically, sorry about the previous call. I don't know, my phone started going off in the middle there, so apologies if it came up on anyone else's end. But hey, Mason, just how are you, feeling? What are the emotions after that one?
I believe what I heard there was how are the emotions? Is that right? Is that what you asked?
Yes, yeah. How are the feelings? How are the emotions after that one?
Bad, horrible. Again, this team was ready to win this year. This team was built to win. This team has a winning mentality. We want to be in the final. We feel like that was taken away from us tonight. I felt like, given the circumstances we played, again, I think we did what kind of we set out to do, but we gave up 2 poor goals from our standard, and didn't score when we maybe could have, and now we're sitting in this position. It does not feel good. The dressing room does not feel good. Again, we wanted to win. this game, and then we wanted to host or go and play wherever it was going to be held. And we wanted to take it back this year because we felt like this group is good enough to do that.